Hey guys, this is JP Mon from Planting Seeds Tutoring. In this video, we'll be talking about how to find the area and perimeter of a sector. Don't forget to use my referral code JPMon20 to receive 10% off on your next tutoring package. So before we dive into sectors, let's just recollect the formulas for the area and circumference of a circle. We have that the area of a circle is equal to pi times r squared, and we have that the circumference of a circle is equal to 2 times pi times r, which is also the same thing as just saying pi times d, where pi is the ratio between the circumference of a circle to the diameter of the circle. So c over d, which is pretty much the same thing as rewriting this equation right here, formula right here. And this ratio is always an irrational number, which is approximately equal to 3.14. R is just the radius of the circle, where a radius is just the distance from the center of the circle to the edge of the circle. And diameter is just the distance through the circle from one edge to the other edge through the center itself. And circumference is just the perimeter of the circle. All right, so with that, let's dive in. And in this example, we have a circle with a radius of 4 centimeters. So based on the formulas that we already mentioned, this means that the area of the circle is going to actually be, area of the circle is equal to pi, let's see this, times r squared, where r is equal to 4. 4 squared centimeters squared. Well, this just means that the area of the circle is just equal to 16 pi centimeters squared. Now, if we were trying to find the circumference of the circle, the circumference would just equal pi times 2 times r. In other words, it's just 2 pi r, which is just written the other way, times the radius, which is 4 centimeters, which turns out to be 8 pi centimeters. Note that the units for area is always centimeters squared, while the units for the circumference, which is a type of length, is always going to be just centimeters, or just any kind of units alone. Here it's units squared. All right, so let's say that you were trying to find the area of a circle, or the area of only one slice of a circle. Let's say that this slice is 1/4 of the actual circle itself. Well, if this is 1/4 of the circle, what would this angle right here be? Well, that would actually just be 90 degrees. It's going to be a right angle right here, and that's going to be 1/4 of the circle. Well, if we were trying to find the area of the circle, of the sector, this is what we call a sector. A sector is just any kind of slice. No matter how large, it's just any kind of slice that is part of the circle itself. Well, if we were to find the area of this slice, the shaded in region, well, that would just be equal to 1/4 times the area of the entire circle, because this is 1/4 the circle. And that just means that this is equal to 1/4 times pi times 4 squared centimeters squared. Or in other words, this is equal to 16 pi times 1/4, which is about 4, or which is equal to 4 pi centimeters squared. Well, since I already mentioned that this is 90 degrees, what's another way that we can mention 1/4 with respect to 90 degrees? Well, we can compare this 90 degrees to the entire circle. The entire circle has a total angle of 360 degrees. As you go around the entire circle, that is 360 degrees. And 90 out of 360 is equal to 1/4, which just means that this is just a proportional type of area. The area of the sector is just equal to the angle of the sector, 90 degrees, divided by the total angle of the circle, which is always going to be 360 degrees. So in this scenario, it's 90 over 360 times pi times 4 squared. 90 over 360 just simplifies down to 1/4. And as a result, we get 4 pi centimeters squared. Well, we can also use this same knowledge to try and find the area of this sector. Well, now that we have, in this scenario, we have an angle, or we have a sector that's formed part of a circle, but this angle right here is not 90 degrees. It's not an even fraction of the actual circle itself. Well, what it is equal to though is 36 degrees. Well, we can just say that 36 out of 360 degrees is going to be the proportion of that area with respect to the area of the entire circle. This is the same circle, so the radius is still 4 centimeters. So this is just going to be times pi times 4 centimeters squared. In other words, this becomes 16 pi centimeters squared times 36 over 360, which is equal to 1/10. And so we can now say that the area of the sector is 16 divided by 10, which we can simplify down to 8/5. 8/5 pi centimeters squared is equal to the area of the sector right here. Now let's say that we weren't trying to find the area. Let's say that we were trying to find the perimeter of this sector. Well, note that the perimeter of a circle is called the circumference. And perimeter always just refers to the total length around a shape. Well, the total length around the sector would start from the center, go around following the radius, and then follow this arc right here. Oops. Follows this arc right here, and then comes back to the center, almost like a triangle, just curved on one side. Well, that would mean that the perimeter of the circle would be this length right here, plus these two lengths right here. Well, we already know that these two lengths are equal to the radius. It's just equal to 4 centimeters. And finding this length, it's going to be kind of very similar to finding the area of a circle or area of a sector. Well, in this case, we have 1/4 of the area of the, or 1/4 of the area of the entire circle is equal to this area right here. So 1/4 of the entire circumference is going to be the arc length right here. Well, we can kind of use that same 1/4 mentality to equal 90 degrees over 360 degrees to say that this is also just equal to the angle that you have divided by 360 degrees, the total number of degrees in the circle. And you get 90 over 360 times 2 pi r. 2 pi r, which if we recall, 2 pi r is equal to 8 centimeters. 2 pi times 4 centimeters. This is equal to 1/4 times 2 times 8 pi centimeters. And this simplifies down to just 2 pi centimeters. But don't forget, we need to still add these two radii because that also makes up the entire perimeter. So the perimeter would just equal 2 pi centimeters plus 4 plus 2 times 4, in other words, just 8 centimeters in total. Now let's try using that same reasoning for this perimeter. The perimeter here would just be 36 out of 360, which we already said is 1/10, times 2 pi r, 2 times pi, times the radius, which is 4, plus 2 times 4, the 2 radii. Well, now this just becomes 8/10, or in other words, 4/5 pi plus 8 centimeters. And that's going to be the perimeter of this entire sector right here. All right. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys come again for our next